From building extensive market research reports to creating full financial models and even designing interactive pitch decks, Claude just released a super impressive set of features to automate workflows in these finance industries. So let me show you how to install them, how they work, and what they're actually capable of. Let's get into it. The first step is to get all set up, and for this you're gonna need to download the desktop version of Claude. Depending on your computer, you're gonna see it for Windows or for Mac, and up here you can see the URL for it. Once downloaded, it should look something like this. The chat feature is the same as the browser version, and then we've got the code feature, which is not one we'll be looking at. We'll be focusing on this co-work part. So within it, we're gonna click on the customize area, and this is where we'll be able to add all of our personal plugins. You can see in my case, I have a lot of different ones. In your case, if you just installed Claude, you're probably not going to have any. So what you need to do is press on this plus sign, and then you can either go to browse plugins or create plugin under marketplace. This is the one that we're going to go for. So here you'll notice it asks for a URL, and for that, we need to go to this link over here that's called github.com/anthropic/financial services. And here you kind of have a breakdown of all of the different tools that they've installed in Claude. So you can see here that we have some for investment banking, equity research, private equity, and wealth management. And we can add them in one of two ways: install it as a Claude Co-work plugin, which is the one that I'm going to show you, or you can also deploy it, which is maybe a bit more technical. So let's go over the easier version. And within it, you'll notice that we have agents. So the key difference here is that an agent is more an end-to-end workflow, so it's automating the whole process, whereas a plugin is the specific skill that's within the agent. So for instance, a finance agent could have skills that are creating a comps model, a DCF model, analyzing an earnings report, etc. And if we scroll lower down, you'll notice that we get the actual link. So it says paste this repo URL. So this is the one that we want to paste, and more specifically, we're going to want the plugins. So we're going to copy that. And in here, I'm going to paste it and just put this dash and type plugins in here. That's what you want to add, and then just press on sync. In my case, I already have it synced, so I'm not gonna do that, but I think you get the idea. Once you have that done, you should be able to go under plus, under browse plugins. You should find a ton of different options, not just the finance ones we looked at, but also some for productivity, design, etc. And feel free to add them just by pressing on this plus sign. If you go under the personal area, so here, feel free to install the ones that you like. In my case, I've installed the investment banking one, and you can see I've installed quite a few different ones here on the left. Also, you might have noticed we have these connectors and these skills, which we'll look at in a second. So for instance, if I click on this investment banking plugin that I just added, within it, you notice that we have a few different skills. So for instance, I can click on this pitch deck one, and you'll notice that it gives me a breakdown of the exact prompt that it's using down over here. I can see exactly what this is going to tell Claude every time I trigger this. And to trigger it, we just need to use the slash key, which I'll show you in a second. Other than these plugins, we have the connectors, and this is basically if you want to connect with external software, like for instance, you want it to read your Gmail, you can easily connect that. And to add new ones, just press on this plus sign. Under browse, you'll see that there's really a ton of different options in here. Now let me exit out of that, and let's get out of this customize area now that we've done the housekeeping task. So here, all I need to do is press the slash key, and you'll notice that I can see all of the different finance ones. I've also got the productivity ones, and if I keep scrolling down, I've got those investment banking ones we were just speaking about. I've got some to build financial models. So if I click on this DCF model one, it basically has all of the skills and the prompts within it. And so I could, for instance, just type the stock ticker of a company, and it would create that DCF for me. Awesome, we're all set up now, and we can start working on some real-world tasks. So suppose that we're an analyst at an investment bank, and we're going to be meeting with Chipotle's management team. So for this, we need to prepare some documents. A very common scenario there would be to create a one-pager. So we can put /one-pager, and then here's the prompt that I've got. Basically, a one-pager is just a general slide going over some of the key details of the company. So maybe we can look at this internally. And you notice here that I have a pop-up saying that Opus uses your limits faster, try another model for longer conversations. And here it is a bit of a balance. You can downgrade to a lesser model, but that means your outputs are going to be slightly worse. Awesome, it looks like it's finally finished, and now let's open up the one-pager. You can see on the right, it's going over all of the different connectors. So it says it used web research, and then under skills, you can see specifically which skills it's used, like the one pager. Here's the slide in PowerPoint. It does look a lot like an investment banking slide, which is exactly what we would want. If you want to change any of the data, it's as simple as going inside of the text boxes and making those changes. And if you want to use Claude for it, you can also add it as an add-in inside of PowerPoint by clicking on add-ins. In my case, you can see I already have it on the side. Suppose we send out this one pager and now your team has a basic idea of this company. They're interested in learning more, so they want us to create some kind of a market research report. For that, if we go over to the customize area, you'll notice that we have this market researcher plugin. So let's go ahead and have a look at that. Under the skills area, you'll notice here we have something called a competitive analysis. So maybe that's a good use case for it. We've also got some agents. So the idea with agents is that it's going to choose the right skill for you automatically without you having to trigger it. You'll notice here we don't have that trigger button like we do for the skills. So let's go back to our recent chat here and add our prompt. Again, you can download these prompts for free in the video description to follow along. So we're saying we want a bit more of an in-depth research report, and it should be kind of investment banking style. It should have the information to then be able to do something like a valuation model off of it. Awesome, it's prepared a 22-page report, so let's have a look at it, and I'm just gonna open it up in Word as well. So this is a general diligence memo. You can see here we've got a nice layout with the table of contents, with the executive summary, and generally here it's all using the Chipotle branding with that kind of red brownish color. We've got things like the company overview, some snapshots of the location, the number of employees, executive team, etc., as well as some unit economics and a general trend on the industry, who the key competitors are. Down over here with the peer snapshot, looking at the revenue comparison, the year-over-year growth, and so much more. It looks like the Kava group is really booming. There's even a financial performance preview, so there's really just a ton of information stacked in here. For something like this, suppose that your manager actually sent you this message while you were having dinner. You can't just use the dispatch feature. So you can see here I have the dispatch clicked, and the idea is that I can text it whatever I want from my phone, and it's gonna get to work on my computer without me having to be there and looking at the screen the whole time. All you need to do here is just pair that with your phone to get it going. Now that we've done the research report, suppose our manager wants us to start working on a valuation, a pretty simple one like a comparable company's valuation in Excel. For that, you might recall under Customize in investment banking, we had a few different skills, but actually I don't think the actual building of models is in here except for a merger model. So this is more related to M&A, like we have that CIM builder. Instead, if we go over to what I believe is financial analysis, we have the comps analysis, and here we have a description of what it's for, public company valuation. That's exactly what we're looking for. So that's the one that we're gonna add. So here we can add that skill, which is the comps analysis. And here we can also add the prompt with some of the key multiples that I'm looking for in this case. So let's run that. Awesome, so it's built out a trading comps with a total of 10 peers. And for a lot of this, it's used the research report that it generated earlier, so that makes sense to save a bit of time. Let's open it up here in Excel, and you can see what the end product inside of Excel. It's got the actual date, and you can see it's doing best practices, like the numbers that are hard-coded, those are going to be in blue, whereas the calculations are in black. For these red dots is basically a note, so it's telling us exactly where each of these values came from. And if we scroll lower down, we've got the valuation multiples, we have the maximum, percentiles, median, so this is pretty standard in investment banking. And if we scroll lower down, we have the methodology, so it's basically why each company, so it's showing us exactly why they picked each one. And we have Chipotle highlighted in yellow as well, which is what you might typically see at a bank too. And if you want to make further changes, you can use the Claude add-in for that as well. While AI tools can create the models for you, it's still important that you have strong fundamentals so you actually understand what they mean. So if you're interested in learning the essentials of finance and valuation, I'd recommend you check out our complete finance and valuation course. First, we cover financial statement analysis using Apple's real annual report as an example. Then we get into financial modeling through a 3-statement model on Apple. After that, we begin the valuation phase where you learn to do a discounted cash flow, a comparable company's valuation, and a precedent transactions valuation on Apple, looking at their real financial statements to eventually derive a valuation range. Lastly, we'll show you how to present an investment thesis using a stock pitch format. So if you're interested in checking this out, head over to the link in the description below, and we have a ton of other courses including AI, Power BI, Excel, and much more. Now that we've worked on the research as well as the modeling, we want to create a pitch deck with that potentially to send to their management team. For this, under Customize, there is a skill called the Pitch Builder. So let's have a look at that and see whether that's a relevant one for us. Under Skills here, you'll notice we have the pitch deck. Actually, it says right here that it's not for creating presentations from scratch. It's more if you already have a template, which is not our case, let's suppose. So instead, what we can do is simply ask it to create a pitch deck, and if it thinks it needs a specific skill, then it can easily give us that. Awesome, it's finished now. It's created a total of 10 slides. So let's have a look at the pitch deck, specifically inside PowerPoint. Here it is. It's got that same branding as all of the other parts, so that's looking good. It's discussion materials for the management team. And you can see here we have an executive summary that makes sense, and then some of the key details. And generally, banking slides are quite text heavy, as it seems to be the case in here as well. On the bottom, we have the sources for each of these sections. We've got the comps analysis, so this is what we made earlier, but it's now branded it here with this whole Chipotle branding. We've also got a valuation range here based on different methodologies, all the way to some suggestions of what this company could do in the future. While this is very impressive, one of the key flaws with PowerPoint is that it's not very interactive. Of course, you can animate a slide, but you can't do things like going from the best case to the base case very easily, and that's where Claude Design comes handy. So this is slightly different to working within the Copilot area. Instead, what we're gonna do is head over to the internet and look for claude.ai/design. That's how you get started with it. So what I'm gonna do is upload the entire pitch deck, and I'm gonna create a prompt that's something like this. I just wanna make some of the slides interactive, and I wanna make sure that the branding is the same as the PowerPoint, so it doesn't create different colors or things like that. It seems to have a few different questions, like what kind of direction or branding I should take here. We've also got some questions on which things we want to be interactive, like for instance, that scenario toggle that I was talking about for the best and the worst case, and also how many slides. So let's go for 4 to 6 here, so it's a bit faster to give us an output. Awesome, you can see here it's finishing up, and we're gonna be able to preview this in presentation mode as an HTML. So the key difference here is that when you're in a meeting or a discussion, it can be useful to be able to change all of the different settings and the toggles for the different assumptions. So that's what we're trying to do here in Claude Design. Now that it's done, we can go over to present, and let me just choose a new tab. This is what it looks like, and you'll notice that the slides do need a bit of work in that they're not very well spaced out, and maybe the text is too small. That's something we can always ask in a follow-on prompt. But what I really want to show you here is the interactive elements. So this looks a lot more like a Power BI visual where we can hover over parts, and it shows us all of the key details. Here I have the equivalent of like a slicer in Excel. And then this is, in my opinion, one of the cooler parts where I have the WACC that I can change. And you can see all of my actual valuation ranges are going to vary based off of that. Same thing with the multiples over here. I can also choose the different scenarios. You can see the bull case is in green, that's optimistic, and the bear case is in red. While this is very impressive, it's not all perfect though. The first concern are the credit limits. So something like this does take up a lot of credits, and so very quickly you're gonna run out of them, and it's gonna ask you for an upgrade or to pay more. Even in my case where I'm using the max, which is one of the higher limit credits, sometimes it's not quite enough. So you can see there that this can easily get quite expensive, especially now as Claude is cutting down on the limits. Of course, you can use some of the less capable models like these down over here, but the thing is you're gonna get slightly worse performance. The other limitation with most AI tools in general is that they don't always give you the same output. Even if we have the exact same prompt and we're using the same skill, the answers are sometimes going to vary, which can be a bit concerning if you just want to repeat a workflow. Overall though, these plugins are super impressive, and we've really just looked at a few of them. We haven't looked at the CIM builder, we haven't looked at the merger model, or even at DCF, so there's so much more for you to explore too. Now, if you want to learn how to turn Excel data into a PowerPoint slide automatically, you should watch this video over here, or you can take our AI course over here. Hit that like and that subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.